Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the big stage. And before we start, I would like to introduce Abhinav Goyal, who's the founder of Skill Ivy. Abhinav, I would really like to know what is it that Skill Ivy does?
Absolutely. Skill Ivy is the purpose of our life, Rachna. As much mine as it is yours and everybody else who works with us. The reason why Skill Ivy exists and came into being in the first place is because we believe we have a responsibility to help our children grow into successful and happy adults. There is a lot that we all are doing as parents, as a society, educating them, giving them the best opportunities to build careers and stuff. But I think in the world that we're living in, Rachna, we need to understand our children a little bit more. And we need to help our children express themselves freely, to be able to chart their own course in life, and to be able to develop the skills that they need to take the risks that they will have to take to be successful and happy in their life. And I think that's what Skill Ivy is doing by really running programs like the CXO, the Young CXO, or the Career Jumpstart. Our whole reason for existence is to help children become happy and successful.
Yeah, I absolutely resonate with that. And that's the reason why I am at Skill Ivy today. But what was the idea behind Big Stage?
Oh, yeah, Big Stage. It's one of our dream projects,
Yes.
and we're really excited. Today happens to be the first episode of Big Stage. It's a huge opportunity for all of us to invite 4 amazing children today, which you're going to meet very, very soon. They're going to be here joining us. The idea behind creating Big Stage is really to provide a platform to our students, these children who work in our mentoring program, especially the Young CXO, a stage and a platform where they can come and talk candidly, where they can come and express their views and their critical opinions about topics of contemporary relevance, topics which are important for them. And in the process, obviously develop their skills as communicators, as public speakers, as storytellers. And I think what you're going to see today and what the world is going to see through the Big Stage is this remarkable revolution that we're trying to cultivate here of children who are supremely confident, who are vulnerable, and yet do not shy away from expressing themselves freely. And that's the whole idea behind Big Stage. I think it's going to come to you every fortnight. That's our plan. Every fortnight we release a new episode of the Big Stage with a new set of kids. And that's where we are. That's what Big Stage is. So let's get going with this. Let's get our kids in and let's get the show rolling.
Absolutely. I'm super excited to see what they have to say because, as adults, we have our mindsets, but getting a peek into theirs is something I've been waiting and wanting to know.
Let's get going. All right.
Sure, let's do that.
All right. So this is incredible. We've got 4 amazing participants here today, Prachla, and I want to bring them up on the stage. They actually already are. You can see them, bright faces. And I'd like to very quickly introduce them. These are 4 of the brightest minds that we have in the Young CXO program and at Skill Ivy. And who better to launch the first episode of the Big Stage, because this stage belongs to these youngsters. I believe the generation that we are working with, these 16, 17, 18-year-old children, they have so much to say. And they have such a brilliant, independent thought process. It's very important for us to learn from them, to hear their perspective. And that's what we're going to do today, right? So let me very quickly introduce, and I'm actually going to ask these kids to talk a little bit about some very interesting things they've done in their life. You might even laugh at them, but that's how we all grow. Make mistakes, do silly things. And I want to talk about a few silly things that these guys have done so far. So here's Prachi here with us. Prachi is the youngest of the lot, 12 years old, and she's in grade 8. Incredibly wise girl. And I've been part of sessions where Prachi's practiced her public speaking. Her confidence, her poise makes it so hard for all of us to believe that she's just 12 years old. So fantastic, wonderful to have you, Prachi. And there's this little incident that I want you to share with us that happened with you last year, where you were trying to mirror some of the Bollywood movies that you've seen. Would you like to talk about that, Prachi?
Definitely. So I think last year, we usually clean the house in Diwali with soap and water. So last year we cleaned the house, and I mean that was the last time because I'd seen Bollywood movies and I always saw Ranbir Kapoor and all of them do the slide on the water. So me like a fool, I do that, and I end up hitting my head on the wall, and I get 5 stitches on my chin, and I end up losing on the fun of Diwali because I was just so mad at everyone for not telling me that this would happen.
Yeah, I can imagine. So any more Bollywood adventures for you, Prachi, or is that it?
For now, that's it. I'm hoping there are no more.
No, but I don't want you to stop your adventures. Please continue your adventures, but always
Yeah.
measure the risk before you do that. So
Yeah, I hope they don't hurt me.
welcome to the big stage, Prachi. It's my pleasure
Thank
to
you.
have you. Right. I've also got here Krishnavi. Krishnavi is 16, grade 11. And Krishnavi is going to talk about some amazing skills she has. Krishnavi, let the world know about your amazing skills.
So ever since I was allowed to do a little bit of like makeup, I steal my mom's eyeliner, and I've been working and working and working on my eyeliner skills ever since the lockdown happened. And now I can say that proudly I am very good at it. Other than my eyeliner skills, I also do love to read, and sometimes I get so involved in what I'm reading that I can read straight for 10 hours and I wouldn't even blink an eye.
Wow. I'm sure you blink your eyes though. But amazing, amazing. Reading is such a wonderful habit, and we always tell our students to read more and more. The more you read, the wiser you become, and the more popular you become because you have so much more to talk about and share. And it's fantastic. Wonderful to have you too, Krishnavi. And then I have Soumya here with me. Soumya is 18, first year of college. So eldest of the lot here today. And Soumya is going to talk about something silly she did when she was 10 years old. Soumya, tell us about that.
Yeah, that. So when I was young, when I was 10, I always used to see my father using a razor to like shave his beard and everything. And I thought, oh, I want to try this. This looks so cool. I want to try this. And my mother was working in the kitchen at the time, and I was like right there. And I had this razor in my arm, and I was like, Ma, I'm going to do something that my papa does. Please see me, please see me. And I did, and I just ripped my chin open, and just there was like blood everywhere. I didn't even notice, and my mom took me to the hospital because of it. She's probably traumatized because of it, but
yeah.
yeah.
So some lessons for you there, Soumya. Yeah.
Yes. Copy before think
Yeah,
think before copying.
Yeah, absolutely. So I hope you haven't done that or anything similar after that. Yeah. Right. Fantastic. Soumya, welcome. And finally, we have Skanda. Skanda is such a bright guy. He knows so much about so many things, and I've heard quite a few of those. But today, Skanda is going to talk about something that I am really jealous of. Skanda, and by the way, Skanda is 16 in grade 11 as well. So Skanda, tell the world and make them jealous.
Okay. So the thing is, the highest number of squats I've done in one go is 400. And it actually started off as a bet between me and my friend because we saw someone doing 400 squats. And then my friend was like, you can't even do 50 something. And I did 400, just two. So,
wow. Were you able
after
to
that, I fell down.
After that, I fell down. For a week after that? Or?
No, I was able to move. But yeah, I fell down out of 400.
Awesome. Fantastic, guys. You guys are crazy. And I always tell people, the world needs a few crazy people. We learn from our mistakes, and we learn by doing things which we believe are beyond our capacity. And we learn by doing things which are extraordinary. So all of you guys are on that journey, and I wholeheartedly welcome you to this session. So today, guys, we're going to talk about something which is very important, something that we've all lived through in the last 2 years, exactly 2 years now. 23rd of March, I believe, in 2020 is when it all started for us, when our Prime Minister came on television and announced that there's going to be a lockdown. We all thought it's going to be like 3 days, 1 week maybe. And then it went on, and it opened, and then it again shut down. And yeah, I'm talking about the pandemic. I'm talking about the lockdown, and I'm talking about how it has changed you. I know how it has changed me as a business owner. I know how it has changed Prachla. I know how it has changed us adults. But what we don't often do is talk about how it has changed you. The youngsters like you, it's really turned your world upside down as well, I'm sure. And there've been good things and there've been bad things which have happened in the pandemic. And that's what I want you guys to talk about. I'm just going to moderate this. I want the show to belong to you. So why don't we begin with any one of you talking about any memory that you have of the lockdown, of the pandemic, any event which stands out in your mind in terms of how dramatic it was or how rapidly it changed things for you. Anybody who wants to go first? All right, Skanda, and then Krishnavi, will go to you.
I didn't know that the lockdown was about to be there. So what happened was it was a Saturday and I was standing in the principal's office for not doing homework for 1 week or something. And she asked me to submit it on the next Monday. And I went home that day on Sunday and I started writing whatever I had to submit on Monday. And then I saw that school was shut down for 15 days. So then I stopped doing it. And then after the 15 days, I started doing it again. And then they said, it's not going to be there. So then I stopped doing it. That's the best thing that happened.
That's the best thing.
I still haven't submitted my homework. So.
You still haven't submitted your homework. You've obviously crossed 2 grades since then.
Yeah. Yes, I've crossed.
All right, awesome. Krishnavi, what is it that you remember?
Actually, I have quite a few I want to share, if that's okay. So back in early 2020, like we all were thunderstruck to realize that we're all going to go under a global lockdown. It was like a mini vacation, only that mini vacation lasted a couple years. Like I still remember those days. So I live in Mumbai, otherwise known as a city that never sleeps. That pin drop silence on the main roads, the absence of noisy buses, the lack of hootering and howling of people at night, the lack of loud boisterous laughing of old people in the clubs in morning, and like also the absence of giggling and tittering of young kids playing in the evening. It was like as if the world had stopped. Like due to that, no, every single sound sounded magnified. I have never heard birds chirp so deafeningly. And also, like, I was in ninth standard when this happened. I recall that they had to cancel my last exam and we all partied. But later on, I also remember being bored out of my mind. I tried anything and everything from baking, which ended in a disaster, to sketching anime characters. I read countless stories and novels, and I filled books with my crazy drawings. I wasted hours scrolling through TikTok, then spending precious time playing games like Carom, Uno with my family. But the thing was, let's ignore the fact that most of those games ended with me and my sister chasing each other, yelling and squabbling. But like, I still cherish those sunny moments a lot because my parents are otherwise very busy. So yeah, these are the moments that I really, really like how my lockdown went down.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up, Krishnavi, because those are also some of my memories, and how beautifully you express that. The sounds and all of that. I remember, standing outside in my balcony, and I would just look at the streets, just completely empty, nobody there, and it felt like the end of the world kind of a scenario. So yeah, you brought that back for me, those days of March and April 2020. Yeah. Prachi, Soumya, you'd like to share something with us?
Yeah, so for me, mine's about homework too. I was a very studious child. I was like 24 hours, my nose would be stuck up in a book, okay? So there was this time where the school went on, temporarily lockdown because of, the virus. So I, being I was the studious kid I was, like, I sat on my laptop. I finished my holiday homework 10 times more than it was required. And I did anything that was pending. I got all prepped up. I wrapped all my books for next year, only to know that the school was shut permanently. And that I knew my holiday homework would never count, even though I did it every single time, it would never count. So this time I can show you the file. I have such a big file of all of those homeworks still left, just waiting to submit them. But then I was so heartbroken that the school's not there. And I don't do homework. I don't do homework. Yeah. I don't do homework.
You don't do homework?
I don't do homework.
Wow. Okay. And that's one of the things that's happened, right? I mean, and we've observed in so many children that, habits have changed. Like you were mentioning, Prachi, you were a studious girl, always doing homework and, finishing assignments, and now you stop doing it. And that's a change which has happened. And so many habits have changed.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Very interesting. You brought that up. Soumya, what is it that you'd like to talk about?
So listening to them, I was reminded of my March and April, like 2020. So I was in 12th grade and I was in an integrated college, which was meant to prepare me for 12th boards as well as JEE mains. So this entire year was supposed to be really hectic for me as, I mean, then COVID interrupted, but other than that, it was supposed to be hectic. But I remember before COVID started, like just as it was about, like just as quarantine was about to start, I was starting to do well academically. Like I was starting to get confident, and as soon as I was like, I can do this, this exam I'm going to crack it. Then it was like lockdown. So I remember being so, I was like, I stayed up for hours, and now they're putting on a lockdown, and my exam is postponed. What am I supposed to do? And from then on, online classes just sort of ruined my entire rhythm of studying. I remember just like my laptop would be set up, my camera would be turned off, my mic would be muted, and I would just be playing Minecraft, not studying.
Hmm.
So that affected me kind of negatively, but
Yeah.
it happened.
Yeah, it's good you bring this point up, and most of you, talking about homework and all of that. One of the things I've been hearing, in the group of people that I sometimes interact with, educators especially, is that the young generation which was going to school, like kids like you, and who lost out on this period, so to say, in some ways because of COVID and the schools not being regular and stuff. It's there's almost this term that's been coined called the lost generation. Do you guys think that you are at any sort of disadvantage when it comes to knowledge and skills in comparison to the people before you, or in comparison to the people who will come after you? Do you guys think you've lost out on something in terms of skills? Anybody feels like that?
I mean, I guess something like that, because the 10th graders who were there before the lockdown, they had gone through all of the, you know, benefits of the school and all that it had to provide that we didn't have at the time. We weren't given access to that. So now, like, even that stopped, like that stopped now. Even if we wanted access, we can't get it. So I think we've definitely missed out on some very important and beautiful moments in the school, and even some set of skills, like we just keep on losing on them because we have nowhere to learn them as such.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Anybody else wants to add anything to that? Yes, Krishnali.
Yeah, so like I said, I was in ninth standard when this happened, and we actually thought it was only going to be like a 1 week vacation, and we'll go back to school. Like I was waiting to get the notice that next week school is going to start. Everybody keep your uniforms ready, but it never happened. And the thing was, my school happens till 12th standard, but a lot of people pass out from 10th. So I was like, all my classmates and all, we were like very excited for 10th standard because we were going to have group study sessions together, and we just recently started playing volleyball in school. We were allowed to, and like I missed out on sports. I missed out on all the competitions I was supposed to take part in, and all, like, and I wasn't connected with my friends because I didn't have Instagram back then. So it was just like out of nowhere, everything just disappeared. So yeah, I missed out on a lot, and I think even my friends missed out a lot because of this.
Yeah, absolutely.